Blockchain gaming is evolving faster than ever, and one of the chains leading this revolution is Immutable, the largest ecosystem of Web3 games, with the IMX stating that they have over 460 games. But what makes their chains so special, and are any of these games good? Hey everyone, Caveman here, and today we're going to be breaking down these two chains. If you didn't know, there are two IMX chains, both using the IMX token. But we're going to cover the pros and cons of each, and most importantly, revealing some hyped, upcoming, and current top games on Immutable, so you can do a little bit of a deeper dive on these projects. As always, there's timestamps below. Feel free to jump to either the chains or the games that you're most interested in. So let's break down those two chains. Immutable X has been around for a while as a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum. See, players were annoyed by having to pay fees and microtransactions, so they built a gas-free chain. The infrastructure also allowed for far superior speeds, up to 9,000 transactions per second. And if you compare that to ETH, which only goes up to 30 TPS, or Bitcoin even less at 8 TPS. See, this made Immutable X chain very close to that of traditional credit cards such as a Visa. They can handle approximately about 10,000 TPS, making it a far better gaming experience and reducing bounce rates of players. Now, in future videos of this series, I'm going to be breaking down all of the gaming chains, explaining what their metrics are, including some of them that are theoretically going up to 100,000 TPS. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date. For games being hosted on the Immutable Zkevm, they come with different pros and cons. Interestingly, the Zkevm is actually using technology from the Polygon chain, a partnership between them. Now, because these transactions are settled on Ethereum, they do inherit the current slow transaction speed. However, because of the way the rollup works, it actually pushes it up to about 700 TPS. This chain also does come with fees, although they're at a fraction of the cost of what they are on the layer 1, and they're usually covered either by IMX or the studio, so the players do not have to pay anything. These are clear cons compared to Immutable X, but the benefits come from being closer connected to ETH. Complex smart contracts, or self-executing programs that can autonomously process transactions and agreements, can now be worked on the same framework as the Ethereum main chain. This is really going to be useful for developers when they're trying to port their game from Ethereum or any of these other EVM compatible chains. There's also the long-term advantage of scalability as Ethereum mainnet grows, adapts, and speeds up, with some future upgrades pushing to raise the TPS to 100,000 in the future, and then you have that large user base on the Ethereum mainnet. Now, Immutable player base is substantial as well, with Immutable X claiming that they have taken over GameFi and have over 4 million users. We at Polymos are optimistic and building on IMX to help onboard the next wave of gamers through education, asset management services, and more. Check it out here. Turn your unused Web3 assets into passive income with the Forge. Visit polymos.io and click Play on the Forge. Connect to our platform and follow the steps to set up your Polymos non-custodial wallet, powered by state-of-the-art security, providing peace of mind that your assets are in safe hands. Send the NFTs you want to lend to your Polymos wallet. Select the asset, check your potential earnings, and stake it. Confirm, sign, and you're ready to earn passive income. Create your wallet now on polymos.io. All right, before we break into these IMX games, just a little disclaimer, reminder, this is not financial advice. If you decide to ape into one of these projects and it goes to zero, that's on you. However, if it does go to the moon, you can always hook your brother Caveman up, you know? All right, hey, first one we're going to jump into is Ravenquest on the Immutable Zkevm, an MMORPG enhancing the experience of that old school feel. We've covered this game before in the past, and you can see that video here, but it is a solid game with one of the most active communities in the space, where they're stating that they got 90,000 players in their last playtest. And this should bode well for them since they'll be doing their global launch on March 14th. And this is one of the few games that I actually feel is in a decent shape. We've seen Web3 game after Web3 game just hit the floor. They crash right as they launch, token disappears, all the hype disappears, and I think that Ravenquest could be an outlier and actually revamp up. In fact, they're so confident that they're launching their token after the global release, past that hype phase of the launch. Now, the Quest token utility hasn't been fully disclosed, but it's been mentioned multiple times at different town halls and examples of how it should work as a premium in-game currency, and there's several syncs to reduce that supply, increase demand. There should be some more info soon, but this is going to be an interesting game to watch for sure. Next, we have Immortal Rising 2 on Zkevm. It's a dark fantasy idle RPG with an emphasis on that high-impact combat and deep character progression. This is a sequel. You don't see that very often in Web 3, and it's looking to build upon the original success, refining its mechanics while integrating blockchain elements in a way that enhances and not hinders that gameplay. Unlike many other idle RPGs that focus purely on that automation, Immortal Rising 2 keeps players engaged with skill-based combat mechanics and a rewarding gear system. One of the most promising aspects is its stylized dark fantasy world, which could help it stand out in a space flooded with pixel art and these generic auto-battlers. They announced they had over 120,000 unique active users in their last few launch pools or playtests, and they could have a decent liftoff. The next project is an ecosystem of games, Overtake. It's on the Immutable Zkevm. This multi-title gaming franchise is blending elements from extraction shooters, tactical strategy, and mobile tower defense in a connected Web3 ecosystem. It's an entire universe of interconnected experiences, with a player-driven economy where progress in one game can influence another. This kind of cross-game integration is something that Web3 has promised for years, and it's tough to deliver. But if they can make it, it could attract a lot of players looking for that ability to jump from one game to another with their assets. The franchise has been making steady progress, with more details on its token and marketplace expected this year. I do believe one of these Web3 interconnected ecosystems will start a massive surge that'll bring in millions of players. Is it Overtake? I'm not sure, but they are claiming over 200,000 monthly active users, so that's a good start for sure. The next title has built up quite a bit of steam, or at least I've noticed it on different social media, but that is ChronoForge on Immutable X. It's a multiplayer action RPG that has a little bit of a roguelike twist where players battle through these dungeons that are procedurally generated, they collect powerful loot, and they forge unique weapons. Now, ChronoForge is set in a fantasy world that's under constant threat, where players take on the role of adventurers that are seeking to harness time-warping artifacts to fight off ancient evil. Unlike other Web3 games that rely on these passive mechanics, ChronoForge is a real-time action combat, and you need to put that skill expression front and center, making it feel closer to those action RPGs than some of these automated blockchain games. The game's loot system will be deeply integrated with other blockchain mechanics, allowing players to craft, enhance trade weapons, and armor. The upcoming Chrono token is expected to play a central role in the in-game transactions, crafting, and the broader player economy. The next game I want to talk about is TreeVerse, and that's going to be on the Immutable Zkevm. It's a social MMORPG, and the world really does look beautiful. It's hand-drawn, open world where players can explore, they can craft, they can build their own stories. That's the goal of these MMORPGs, and TreeVerse has been in the works for some time, originally starting as a simple NFT project before evolving into this full-fledged adventure game. Now, the game features a classless combat system, which allows players to experiment and move around with the different classes, different weapons, different play styles, and the exploration and the community-driven storytelling are pretty much the heart of this experience, giving these players the freedom to form parties, embark on quests, and even build settlements. Pushing for mass adoption, TreeVerse is putting an emphasis on accessibility, trying to really make it as seamless so that mainstream gamers can really come in here and engage without needing any prior Web3 knowledge. The upcoming Root token is expected to be the power of the in-game economy. It's going to support trading, crafting, property ownership within the world of TreeVerse. Now, if you've been in the Polymos community for a while, you know what the next one is. It should not be a surprise, and that is illuvium on Immutable X. We are obvious partners with this ecosystem of games featuring the unique and beautifully designed illuvials of several different games. They're pushing the graphic fidelity rivaling that of a true AAA game, along with competitive mechanics in their feature game Gauntlet. This auto-battler is meant to rival that of team fight tactics on a skill and strategy level. It is live, but it has some expected major updates in April that should bring the ecosystem back to the main stage of the hype that they used to be back in 2021. Their token ILV comes with revenue share, voting rights within the Illuvium DAO. We provide lending and borrowing services for illuvials, and you can see how to rent them here. Renting Web3 assets has never been easier with the Polymos Forge. Go to polymos.io and click Play on the Forge. Connect to our platform and follow the steps to set up your Polymos non-custodial wallet. Browse our collection of staked NFTs to find an asset for your situation for a set duration. Confirm and pay with crypto or credit card, and finalize a signature to start your rental. Jump into the game and improve your play now. Create your wallet on the Polymos Forge. Immutable X has its own gaming studio where they've been building their 2 flagship games that have pretty good user base and a massive trade volume on the IMX marketplace. Both of these are on Immutable X, and the first one is Gods Unchained. This trading card game was one of the first to really hit the blockchain shortly after Axie Infinity's debut in 2018. They took the base gameplay from games like Hearthstone and Runeterra, but applied the blockchain and ownership, which some players were desperately seeking. The game revolves around strategic deck building and tactical gameplay, with different gods representing unique playstyles. Players battle in ranked matches, tournaments, and special events, earning rewards that can then be reinvested in their collection or taken home as play and earn. The Gods token powers the in-game economy, allowing players to mint new cards, stake for rewards, and participate in governance decisions. Guild of Guardians, their other flagship game, on the other hand, is a mobile game. It's a squad-based RPG that brings hero collection, team building, and cooperative dungeon crawling into the world of Web3 gaming, aiming to blend classic hero-based gameplay with real digital ownership. Players build teams of guardians that'll battle through dungeons and earn valuable loot that can then be crafted, upgraded, or traded. The game's core loop revolves around strategic party composition, with each guardian offering different abilities that complement one another in battle. Our very own Likeable has been doing her playtest, and she'll have that video done shortly. It'll pop up here, but if you want to make sure that you are first to watch it, hit that subscribe button and activate that notification bell so you don't miss out. Guild of Guardians encourages guild-based teamwork, allowing players to form alliances, strategize together, and compete difficult in-game content. You really do need to work together, or you will not get anywhere. The game also features a PvE campaign, cooperative raids, and leaderboard competitions, ensuring multiple ways to engage with the economy. The GOG token is already live and serves as the backbone for the game's marketplace, governance, and reward system. It enables players to also craft and enhance gear, participate in in-game economies, and earn passive rewards through staking. Now, if you are a fan of digital board games, you are going to like Shardbound on Immutable Zkevm. This tactical collectible card game with board-based strategy mechanics combines this deep strategic gameplay with that blockchain-enabled ownership. Shardbound originally launched as a Web 2 game back in 2017. Unfortunately, didn't quite meet expectations of the market, but it was recently revived by Bazooka Tango in collaboration with Immutable, bringing the Web 3 features into the mix. One of the biggest reasons this game stands out is its hybrid approach to deck building and tactics. This is actually one game I like to play in my free time. No earn mechanics. This is something I actually, if I had more time, I would put more into it. It's a game that reminds me of an old school one, Wrath Unleashed. I played this when I was a kid. Super fun game, playing against my brother, my sister, and it just reminds me that it's so nostalgic, but it's this nice battle board, and you know, they're going to have tournaments and other events, and I plan on participating with those. The Web3 elements of Shardbound haven't fully been disclosed, but it is live. You can hop in right now. The last game on the list is the medieval grand strategy MMO Blocklords on Immutable. One of the most ambitious Web3 games that I've been able to see so far. They're trying to hit everything, offering a player-driven world where every decision impacts the game's evolving history. Players can take on different roles like the farmers, the warriors, rulers, raiders. Each can be contributing to the economy and power struggles of this medieval landscape. And unlike traditional MMOs, the game dynamically resets and reacts to player choices, meaning alliances, betrayals, and wars are all going to leave lasting effects on the world. Not to mention, they have a whole bunch of ideas with AI that they're going to be pushing forward. And, at the core of Blocklords, it's just a deep strategy system where players can manage resources similar to like Age of Empires, and then they build their cities, they engage in tactical battles and forge political alliances, and then they just try to raise themselves to power. Landowners and rulers control entire regions, while the warriors and farmers, serve under them, and they earn rewards and climb the ranks. The Lord's token serves both as a utility and a governance token within the ecosystem. Players can earn Lords in a variety of different ways, such as winning battles and managing resources, and accumulating this token allows players to gain influence, an important resource which can then be used to unlock exclusive in-game items, heroes, resource packs, and more. We've covered Blocklords a few times on the channel. Likeable recently did this video here where you can get caught up on some of the recent gameplay mechanics, but we just got access to combat. That'll be a video we'll be dropping fairly soon. But this is one game that I think has some potential to grow into something big. I'm excited to see a few years from now, what did Blocklords bring to the GameFi space? And that's all of these games that were on this list today. I really thought that a lot of these have fun mechanics and can be something that is enjoyable. But hey, what chain should I cover next? And if you like this video, please hit that like button below. Subscribe for more. That's all I got. Caveman, logging off.